This is how much it costs to live in Melbourne.
This match will get red hot.
Australia is not a cheap country to live in, and the cost of living can depend on the choices you make. They can either get the cost of living up or bring it down. In this video, I will be taking you through the real cost of living in Melbourne. So here are a couple of scenarios for you. I live in the city centre, renting a nice studio apartment. I eat at least 2 meals outside every day. I often take a taxi to travel around the city. I catch up with friends and go out clubbing every weekend. There are some other fixed expenses. So living my life like this, I'm spending upwards of $4,000 each month. Now the second scenario. I live in a shared house outside of the city center. I cook all my meals at home every day. To travel around the city, I use public transport. On weekends, I go chill with friends, have a few beers at the beach or in a garden. I still have other fixed expenses. Living my life like this, I'm only spending $1,650 each month. I can't really give you an exact number like how much you will be spending, but through this video, I'll try to give you a solid idea of what you can expect to spend while living in Melbourne. But before I tell you about all the expenses, let me tell you about how much people normally earn living in Melbourne. The average income of people under the age of 35 years is around $65,000 per year. So that roughly equates to $4,000 in your bank account after you've paid all your taxes. And if you're a student and you're working part-time, so you can expect to earn anywhere between $500 to $600 every week. That's about $2,500 per month. Now getting back to the costs. The number one expense I want to talk about is the cost of accommodation. And there are two ways you can look for accommodation. Number one is you can rent out a house or an apartment outright, or you can look for a room in a shared house. Your rent will depend on where you choose to live. The most expensive places will be in and around the central business district, that's the city centre, and the further away you move from the city centre, the cheaper the rent gets. A 2-bedroom flat in the city centre will cost you anywhere between $2,000 to $2,400 a month, and a 1-bedroom apartment in the city centre will cost you around $1,300 to $1,500 a month. If you move like 30 to 40 minutes away from the city centre, you can find a nice 4-bedroom house for under $2,000 a month. And you can expect to pay almost $100 a month for your bills, including electricity, your hot water and your gas. The two major sites you can look for homes are realestate.com.au and domain.com.au. I'll leave the links in the description so you can check out the websites. If you're looking for a room in a shared house, do check out flatmates.com.au. And also check out Facebook, as Facebook has many ads for available rooms for rent. Your second major expense after accommodation will always be transport. Traveling can be expensive, so I recommend using public transport while you're in Melbourne. Melbourne has a vast public transport network consisting of trains, trams and buses. To use public transport in Melbourne, you'll need to get a prepaid travel card that's called Myki. You can get a Myki for as low as $10 and start traveling around the city. In Melbourne, the trams are absolutely free to use while you're in the city centre, so you don't need to pay for any transport costs if you live in the city centre. Without any passes or any concessions, the maximum you can pay for public transport every day is $8.80. So you can travel as much as you want, you can travel wherever you want, you won't be paying anything above $8.80 every day. But I recommend getting a monthly or a yearly pass. That way you save lots of money. If you are a student, you can get a yearly travel pass for $585. That's roughly around $48.75 per month. So that's a lot cheaper than topping up your Myki on a daily basis and spending $8 every day. And if you're not a student, you can still get a yearly Myki pass, and that will cost you somewhere around $90 to $100 per month. Your other major expense after transport is food. So food can be very expensive and add up quickly onto your monthly budget. There are all kinds of restaurants and cafes in Melbourne, and Melbourne also has some of the best coffee in the world. Eating out can cost you anywhere between $15 a meal for a takeaway, upwards of $200 for a fine dining meal. Eating out can add up really quickly to your monthly expenses. There are also a lot of cheap options available, but I recommend you cooking at home, as that way you can keep the costs down and the nutrients up. If you are cooking at home, you can expect to spend around $70 to $100 a week on groceries. This figure is just an average, and this can go up or down depending on what you prefer. If you're finding the video useful, then please hit that like button. And also leave a comment below letting me know that what you want me to cover for the next video. Getting back to the video now. You will also have some fixed expenses per month that will include your phone bill, your internet, your health insurance, etc. A prepaid mobile connection in Australia will cost you around $30 to $40 a month depending on the plan you choose. You can expect to be paying around $100 for your health insurance per month. You can also expect to pay $80 a month for your gym membership. Now let's talk about entertainment. There is no shortage of activities to keep you busy in Melbourne. So I'll tell you some of my favorite things which I like to do in my free time and on weekends, and I'll also tell you the costs associated with them. One of my favorite activities is going out for bowling and a few beers. A game of bowling on a weekend will cost you around $15, while in weekdays you can get some offers like unlimited games for $30. Another activity I love to do is going to the beach. And the best part about it is it's absolutely free. If you love spending the day out in the sun or probably going in the water, then this can be a fun activity for you. The third activity I like to do is cycling. So Melbourne has many amazing, beautiful bike trails or bike tracks in and around the city. Whether you are a beach lover or you are a mountain person, there is a nice, beautiful trail waiting out there for you. Buying a cycle is not very expensive. You can find a nice used bike for around $200. Getting a cycle can also save you money on your transport, so you don't need to use trams or trains for short distances. You can just take your bike and go anywhere you want. So that's a really good way to stay healthy and save some money. The fourth thing I like to do is go out clubbing. The entry cost for a club is anywhere between $20 to $30, and on an average, you can buy a drink in a club for $10. I recommend going to a cheap bar first and pre-drinking there before heading out to a nightclub. That way you can save a lot of money. I hope I have given you an accurate picture of how much you can expect to spend while living in Melbourne. If you liked the video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I will be uploading a lot of interesting content in the future.